So welcome back to my channel. Today a slightly different format. I'm here in Ubud and doing an area introduction to Ubud. Bali has a lot of different areas and they're very different, so you really need to know where do you fit in best. So I will give an area intro on Ubud and make further ones on Canggu, Uluwatu, so you can find out where do you want to invest or where do you want to spend your vacation. So I'm right now slightly outside. Actually it's fairly central still in Ubud, but it's a bit of a more quiet area. It's a kampong rich walk, and I want to start saying a few words about Ubud before I show the actual locations. So Ubud, not a beach town, among the main tourist areas of Bali. It's probably the only one that's not at the beach, and that of course makes it very different. Now it has a jungle, 360-degree jungle around it, and that gives it a lot of space, and it's more quiet and peaceful. And what it is worldwide known for is yoga retreats, meditation, all these spiritual things. You can do a health retreat and you drink only juice for a week, all these things. Absolutely up to you, and it's a great place to relax if you have a busy job, stressful job. This is the best place to come and relax a bit. Now it's not good when it comes to nightlife. So Canggu, for example, is a lot better than that, but it's not that there's absolutely nothing. So I will show a couple of nice spots where you can have a cocktail and drink, but nevertheless that's not really what Ubud is good for. And it always looks like people go home at 9 p.m. and probably get up early to enjoy the peace, or maybe a yoga class. Now yoga, there are plenty of yoga centers, large ones, small ones, really good ones. Most of them are really good, and the range in terms of yoga classes, teachers, sizes of classes, style is huge. So there's really something for everyone, and if you don't like it, try a different one. Now there are also lots of healthy food cafes where you can have your coconut juice, some healthy food, avocado toast. So the main things I would say is calmness, peace, jungle, and good food. Very good food, lots of restaurants, lots of excellent restaurants, and unlimited amount of choices of excellent food. I will show a couple of my favorite restaurants in this video later. So you can sit in one of these cafes, look over the rice fields, maybe play digital nomad with your computer, work a little bit. Internet is good now, that was different 5 years ago, but now it's really good enough to work from here. There are lots of co-working spaces as well, so there are a lot of people who stay here for longer, work from here, have a good life. Some of the co-working spaces are really modern and good. Park U is one of the bigger ones, but there are more. There are 2 outposts here, so there's a lot of that. Of course, plenty of massage places, so you can always get a massage if you feel like it, or if you just need to get out of the sun during lunchtime. So plenty of that. Ubud itself is a rectangle in the jungle, so a rectangle of streets that mark the central business district, if these are the right words. It's not that urban really, but within this rectangle you can walk, and there's plenty of shopping, restaurants, everything. You don't need to leave this rectangle if you don't want to, but if you do, there's a lot of calm places, rice fields outside of that. So this rectangle, it's mostly clockwise one-way traffic, but there are a couple of exceptions for scooters. So if you want to use a scooter, be warned, I would not recommend it to new first time Bali visitors. It is a bit dangerous. Always make sure you wear a helmet and have an international driver's license. But it's still very dangerous. A lot happens. You can take a Grab anytime. Grab scooter, it's very cheap. You get a driver who is very experienced here, and it's safer and probably cheaper unless you go a long distance. But safer is a criteria, and it's very convenient as well. So I would, for most people, actually recommend that. It's a more reasonable choice. So I will show a couple of my favorite places in Ubud and show you where to get good food, how that looks like, what does it cost, what kind of people, what's the vibe, and in the end help you make a decision. Do you want to come here for vacation? Do you want to invest here? And what kind of people do you see here on the streets? What kind of people come here as tourists? And that's obviously the one thing where you normally have to actually go to a place to get the vibe. How does it feel to be there? And Ubud itself, very different because the range of people is huge. So you can get accommodation from $20 in some dorm room or hostel. You can also get a villa for $2,000 at night. Even a one-bedroom villa for $2,000 at night. There are very expensive hotels and very cheap ones. So the range is huge, and that also means the range of people is very, very large. So you have people from all over the world, really everywhere, coming here, and it's really, you can't say that's the typical Ubud crowd. Of course you have the spiritual people, the yoga people who live, breathe, yoga, meditation, ecstatic dance, all that you really find only here. But you have a lot of other tourist segments here as well. So that's brief intro to Ubud. You see that's how it looks a bit outside. Rice fields can be very, very nice, calming. Sitting there looking over the rice field with your coconut. However, you also see a lot of construction going on, so that's also part of Ubud, and do expect some construction, and traffic is a big problem. Right now it's rainy season. That means it's less traffic, less tourists, a bit more quiet in the town. However, there's a risk of rain. You see no rain right now, very sunny, but it can always rain quite a bit. Sometimes a whole day, heavy rain, flooding is possible. But you might also be here during rainy season for a whole week and have no rain whatsoever. So yeah, let me start showing you a couple of good spots that I want to highlight, that I can recommend here in Ubud. So this is one of the nicer hotels here on the Kampung Ridge walk. So you see it's a hotel on a cliff. I can also look at the neighboring hotel or villa, whatever this is. Looks more like a large, very large villa. And you have a view over the jungle. Sometimes you see some villas and hotels sprinkled into the jungle. You see all the rooms have tubs, some have like flowers, rose petals sprinkled in, and downstairs you have your own private pool and a large pool upstairs, restaurant, cafe, everything you can imagine. Nice quiet area. So that's just one out of many. So there are a lot of hidden nice hotels, and this is not one of the most expensive ones. You can, as I said, pay $2,000 or more. There are huge ones big facilities, everything, large rooms. It's amazing what you can get here if you have a lot of money. And that, by the way, is not true everywhere in Bali. There are places where they don't have these kind of facilities. Also, most areas in Canggu are not really large hotel places, but more small hotels or villas. But here you have a mix of everything. Large, very luxurious hotels, but also smaller ones for more budget-oriented tourists. And you have a lot of villas as well, sprinkled in across the whole area. So you see on the street all these markings on the road for parking lots. This used to be one big disaster area. The traffic was just horrible. And the reason was that half of the street was full of parked scooters and the other half was blocked because scooters were going in and out into their parking. And they recently did something here, police did something to fix the traffic issues. And what they did was they, in some of the main roads, disallowed, forbid the parking of scooters in these areas, so now they're empty. That gives a lot more space for the flowing traffic. And they actually enforce that by deflating the tires of illegally parked scooters. I've seen it, they actually do that. But it works, and now the traffic is flowing. It used to be a complete disaster. Now it's actually easy in most areas of Ubud. Made a big difference. Of course, it's also now low season, so less traffic anyway. But that's how they really fixed the traffic issue here. So this here is the Padang. It's in the center of Ubud. And they recently turned that into a parking lot. A bad one, I would mention, because it turns into a swamp when it's raining, so I do not recommend it. They charge 5,000 to park a scooter, and yeah, can be quite swampy. Good location though. I show you a better parking lot, free and covered, and an even better location in a moment. So this is the car park underneath the art market, or the new market. And that is excellent location. Free, dry, covered, everything. Perfect. Best scooter car park around here. So the entrance to the scooter car park underneath the art market is right at the west side of the market. Here, Jalan Monkey Forest. And this is where you go down. So I parked downstairs and now I'm gonna have a look at the market. So they built a brand new market. It took them years. They did that during COVID. Before that was a old and not very nice market. I was a bit afraid they would replace it with an air-conditioned shopping mall. But now it's it fits to the Ubud style. It's fairly large and still modern, clean, covered even when it's raining. So 2 stories high. And same location as the previous market. Let's go and see what you can buy, but in short, it's not super exciting, but you can buy some souvenirs or something to bring home for your friends and family. So this is not downstairs in the market, so just to give you a feeling what you can buy here. Like this from Dior and Prada handbags, okay. Souvenirs from Bali, lots of clothes, more Prada handbags, surprisingly affordable. Handicraft jewelry, non-branded bags, paintings. But actually for paintings, if you want to buy a painting for real art, Sukhavati is a better place. It's like 15 minutes on a scooter outside of Ubud, and it's a huge art market, cheaper, larger selection. So this is really mostly souvenirs, t-shirts, variety of stuff. But it's good to have a look when you're around. and more art shopping along the street. It's a small shopping street, not for cars. Scooters can go here, and they also have interesting stuff, especially when it's not raining. This is an older street, and right in the heart of Ubud, lots of things to buy, nice souvenirs, paintings, wood carvings. So a lot to see if you like shopping. So there are plenty of these little market streets. And you can also have a traditional Bali coffee in here somewhere. Carvings. At some point, more or less all the same, but still good to have a look. Now, Indonesia does not have a Michelin guide, but that doesn't mean there's no fine dining. So there are plenty of excellent and some also really expensive restaurants. Behind me is a herbivore. That's one of the older local style but really excellent restaurants here. Not cheap, and you might have to book a month in advance if you want to go there for dinner. So this was a quiet street here, has a lot of restaurants, quite nice. Sort of a pedestrian street, but you do have scooters going back and forth, but no cars, or nearly no cars. And yeah, lots of restaurants, especially for Asian tourists. Japanese restaurants, Korean restaurants, but really from everywhere. Also very good Indonesian, Balinese food. So a nice place to stroll and have a dinner, have a drink. Very nice, calm, even though it's right in the heart of Ubud. And the northern side of the same street goes all the way to the northern end of the central business district. So you see a lot of more local, down to earth, but also more fancy soap stuff or whatever. And as I said, construction is everywhere in Bali all the time. They tear down stuff every few years, rebuild it. No idea why, but that's how they do it here. You can also get a good pizza, Mexican food, and lots of massage places as well. So this is the yoga barn. There are plenty of yoga centers, really a lot of them around here. But this is one of the oldest and largest, and it has really large yoga shalas, a lot of them, also a lot of smaller ones. And it has restaurant, it has accommodation, it has really everything. They have excellent teachers from all over the world, and they do retreats and everything, a nice atmosphere. And it's not for everyone, however. I mean, yoga is very specific and very much you like one teacher but not the other. So some of the teachers here are super popular, and I've been in a yoga class with 70 people, and not everyone likes that. But nevertheless, it's a nice environment. You can get good yoga classes here, meditation, good food, healthy food, everything you want. They're very popular also for their ecstatic dance twice a week. And if it's not your cup of tea, you will find a different yoga center here in Ubud that is more your taste. So I like it here, but not everyone does. It's okay. Very calming place, right in the jungle. Good central location though. They have treatments, they have doctors, everything you can imagine. They have a shop, everything. They have grown to quite an empire over the years, so it's huge. They have restaurants in the city, they have really everything you can imagine.